Time now 6 o'clock out on WJBF Live Viper 6 radar. Plenty of leftover sunshine across the CSRA. Good evening. You're watching WJBF News Channel 6, where you always get your most accurate forecast first by 7 o'clock this evening. Look forward to mostly clear skies and temps cool at 50 degrees.
Mother Nature is hit hard here in the CSRA. First, an ice storm and then an earthquake. Coming up, we have the latest on both.
Live from Television Park in high definition, coverage you can count on. This is WJBF News Channel 6 at 6.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Ashley Bridges. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Coverage you can count on begins tonight with what many people are still asking: when am I going to get my lights back on? And we're joined now by Truett Evanson, the East Region Vice President for Georgia Power. And Truett, thank you so much for making time to come sit down with us. And before we get to that loaded question that everybody posted on our Facebook page, when are my lights coming on? Just to let people know, how much preparation did Georgia Power do for this ahead of time, and how big of a job was that?
Actually, we had a notification. We had been watching the weather forecast, so we knew this storm was coming. We had a range from I-20 along the I-20 corridor from Atlanta to Augusta, and the north along the I-85 corridor. So we started moving crews in early and preparing. We had crews coming into the Augusta area all day Tuesday, staged here ready for that storm to hit Tuesday night, Wednesday, whenever it was going to get here.
And I know it's been a long haul for your crews because they were on the ground ahead of time, and they're still on the ground now out there working the lines. You've been out there with them. Just for people who haven't seen that yet firsthand directly in front of them, paint us a picture of what it's like for those crews out on the ground. It's not easy.
No, and really an ice storm is one of the worst situations we can get into because we can work all day long, and then as temperatures start to drop overnight and it continues to rain, those lines that we put up that day will fall again that night. Trees keep falling. So and that was the situation this time. We worked all day Wednesday, worked keep getting the lines up, and then overnight it fell again. So Thursday morning was pretty much a start over for us, trying to get lights back on. And conditions got much worse overnight, as your listeners really know.
And I know we've seen your crews and we've also seen other crews. Tell us a little bit about the resources you brought in even from other states to help get people here in the CSRA to get their lights back on.
Well, Georgia Power is part of the Southern Company. We have a mutual assistance agreement with utilities across the United States, where we get together, we talk about what the weather's supposed to be doing in the future, what's coming ahead, and we talk about who may need resources. And we have an agreement, it's called a mutual assistance agreement, where we move crews, the utilities that are not going to be hit, give up crews, start putting crews in the road and moving them here. And then we will return that favor when they may have problems, and we've actually been doing that some this year already. So.
And I know some people have posted on our Facebook page, you know, why does X neighborhood already have power, but my neighborhood doesn't have power? I mean, how does that work with those lines and the substations? You can't just show up in front of somebody's house and flip a switch.
No, we actually start from our substation and follow those main lines out and try to pick up the most customers we can at first, and then we go back through those areas and start picking up, we call them feeders off that main line, and one house may be on because it may be on one circuit and another one on a different circuit. So it's a very methodical way we work through those lines to get customers on as quickly as possible.
So for the people who still don't have power, I know my house is actually still one of them, but I see your crews out there working. Worst case scenario, what can we expect to have those lights back on and get life back to normal?
Our goal is to have 95% of our customers back on by midnight tonight, and we feel very confident we're going to make that goal. We will do that tonight. Then tomorrow, our goal is to everyone, all of our customers that can take service, we plan to have their electricity back on tomorrow.
And one last thing very quickly, I know you mentioned that people may have issue with their direct services even after Georgia Power does their job. You can help with that.
That's right. As trees fall, sometimes it tears up a customer's meter base, maybe their service entrance. We don't have anything to hook back to, so what we will do, we have a number that you can call and we will help you find an electrician to get those repairs made.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you to your crews for all the hard work we're doing. And as he just mentioned, there are numbers you can call if you need help with your services or to just check the status of your outages. To check the status of your outages, just dial 888-891-0938. And like Truett just said, Georgia Power can also help you coordinate those repairs to get the power back on for your home. Their customer service number to help you do that is 888-660-58 888-988-9290. I've been speaking with other energy providers in our area as well. First, Jefferson Energy Cooperative. At the peak of this, they had as many as 28,000 of their 33,000 members without power. Well, they already have 16,000 of those members back up. For the rest, they just brought in 150 crew members from Mississippi and Florida, and they expect another 200 in soon to get your lights back on. Turning to South Carolina, Aiken Electric Cooperative still has around 16,000 members without power. And some parts of Aiken County may not be restored until Monday. And people have been desperate to get the debris out of their yards and off their homes as well, but some of them needed to find the tools to do it. So early this morning, people lined up to take advantage of a new shipment of chainsaws, and the demand was almost too much to handle. Julie Parisi reports.
Long lines at Harry's equipment shop Saturday morning, where a newly received shipment of chainsaws was selling fast.
We're just going to spend all day putting together saws and trying to help customers as much as possible, trying to help them get what they need.
Owner Jeff McGahee says there's been an incredible demand for the power tools since the storm hit, but the supply wasn't there.
Supply of chainsaws right now is greatly needed, and we got them in last night, so that's all we can do is be here for them and try to help them as much as possible.
Early Saturday morning, his shop got in 400 more saws. He says hopefully he'll have enough to get through the weekend.
They're just trying to clear the debris that they have in their yards, just blocking them from getting out. Most everybody's blocked in, or either they've got trees on their front porch or they've got trees in their house.
The shop will be open on Sunday, a day they're normally closed, to make sure Augusta residents can get the tools they need to get back to their everyday lives.
We will be available for them all weekend, so we'll be here till it's all taken care of.
And there's another serious problem we need to get taken care of that was caused by that storm, and it could be a matter of life or death. The ice storm that knocked out your power, it's also prevented people from giving blood. Demand actually goes up during this kind of event, but supplies unfortunately went down. To try to meet the need, the Shepherd Community Blood Mobiles are out across the two-state collecting blood inside their trucks. Their goal, to get more than 400 units this weekend.
Across the country, all blood centers are having a shortage, just because of the weather, but also because of air flights. We can't support blood going out or coming in, so we have to rely on our local community to support our hospitals.
Shepherd helps out 20 hospitals throughout our area, and you can help out by giving blood tomorrow at the Augusta Mall next to P.F. Chang's, Walmart, North Augusta, or Papa John's on Milledgeville Road. Well, time for a quick check of our forecast. And John, I heard you say you don't have a lot to say for once, and that's good news for people. We love hearing you, but that means that there's no crazy weather.
There is.
To be on the way.
Have we not? This has been a crazy week. The freezing Monday it was 65. We had the sleet, freezing rain, ice, snow. Then an earthquake last night. Now sunshine as we head towards the next few days. Tonight it is going to be cold again, lows in the upper 20s. We'll see a small chance of a few isolated showers on Tuesday, and then get ready for a nice taste of spring ahead. We're talking 70s as we head towards Wednesday, and even warmer as we head towards the week's end. We'll have your Live Viper 6-day forecast coming up in just a bit. Ashley?
John, I love the sound of that. Well, everybody here worked hard to get ready for the snow and ice our meteorologist predicted, but nobody had any idea we needed to be ready for an earthquake. A lot of you reported feeling that quake, and others of you may have just slept right through it. We sent News Channel 6's Nicole Snyder out to the location that officials are calling the epicenter of the quake.
It was the boom felt around the south. The earthquake that hit Edgefield last night rumbled throughout South Carolina and Georgia. Many took to social media to see if what they heard and felt was actually true.
A big boom, and then the house shook, and you could feel it like the earth shook, the whole earth. And that's, like I said, it was kind of a surprise.
I was scared. I'm 61 years old, and I ain't never heard no sound like that. Not that long.
When Pastor Luther Garrett and church member Joe Jackson came up to China Grove Baptist Church this morning, they were not sure what to expect. Their small southern church was at the center of Friday night's earthquake that shook the CSRA. The shake caused cracks across the bricks of their 140-year-old church, but Pastor Garrett was relieved to see it is still standing strong.
We're just so grateful that no more happened, and it did. We're just grateful and thankful for that. And so now we're going to have to get busy and see about getting the church put back together.
The epicenter of the 4.1 magnitude earthquake is right behind me through these woods, and officials say any closer to town, there could have been a lot more damage.
Could have been a loss of life, could have been a great deal more property damage.
Emergency Management Director Mike Casey says if this were to happen downtown, it would have been a much different story.
Very fortunate, and I think that's probably the takeaway from all of this, is that it happened in a very rural section of the county. There are no major buildings involved.
During the 30 years he's worked as director, Casey says he can't remember anything of this nature, but the possibility is always there.
South Carolina sits on a pretty good fault line, so we are subject to tremors, earthquakes.
Currently, the emergency office has not received any reports of major damage, but officials are still examining the aftermath. Casey says there is still a possibility of another aftershock or another earthquake. Ashley?
Thanks, Nicole. Still ahead, he's made a fortune in private aviation. Find out what Augusta's Jamel Larkins has in common with the likes of LeBron James and Hollywood actress Olivia Wilde.
Sunshine and breezy today. The official high temperature a cool 55, but we'll take it. Morning low of 43, 23/100ths of an inch of rainfall. That was very, very early this morning. Could more rain be on the way? And let's talk about the 70s. We'll have those in the 6-day forecast up next.